I'm the secretary of Alucast, and I welcome you to this workshop today, which is the last in a series from our Alucast Chennai center. The speaker today is Mr. G. Durayasan. He's the Senior General Manager Operations at Ashley Allteams India Limited. And he is responsible for overall factory operations. His CV is there on the slide, so I will not go into details. You could read that. But to tell you that he comes with a host of experience, almost 30 years of very rich experience in the field of aluminum die casting operations. And he has worked with a large number of leading die casting foundries in India and abroad. So, as always, I would urge you to listen to the presentation and ask your questions either in the chat box or at the end of the presentation. And let us see how we can go ahead this afternoon. Mr. Durayasan, the floor is yours. You can commence your presentation.
Good afternoon. Thanks for
Durayasan, your voice is muted. If you can just unmute yourself. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Zabin, and good afternoon, Alucast members, and thanks for Alucast giving this opportunity. So Mr. Prabhakaran given this opportunity to me, and immediately I have accepted and now prepared a presentation, and I'm going to share with you people along with my team. Basically, this presentation was prepared by our team. Kalayarasan is the designer, and Savanesan is the die maintenance person, and Gautam is the person, program new product development person, and another person, Dashnamurthy. He is one of my old friend. He also supported in this presentation. So thanks for all, and I am going to start this presentation, short presentation. Thank you. So can I move the slide?
Go ahead.
Thank you. The slide is not moving. No, just I put, you have mentioned, Mr. Zabin, mentioned about, your question answer section. If at all you have, any question in between during presentation or in between presentation, you can, stop me and give the questions so that, myself or my team will, prepare answers. Maybe end of the presentation, we will address all the your clarifications or questions. So we are going to discuss about die maintenance, three parts. One, die casting dies. Function, types, and constructions. This is some basic information. This roles, die service, and maintenance. This is system related and people related. And this third part is dies, care and maintenance for good productivity or whatever business results. These three parts I am going to present. This basic first one, what is the die casting what is die casting die or what for die. This basically hold the metal in the shape of desired casting, and the molten metal get into the space that is cavity. That cavity is provided in the die, and the function again remove the heat from the molten metal to solidify to solid, and the solid metal or solid casting will be removed from the die for our end product. So we are having many three types of dies. We have a lot of dies, and basically three types. One is single cavity die. Is we will have only one cavity and one part number like that. And we will have some multi-cavity die. The same cavity with 2 or 3 or 4, 5. Sometimes I have seen even 32 like that. And so another third is family mold or unit die. So for example, some of the part having some assembly parts, maybe child parts, 2 or 3 parts or maybe 5 parts like that, as aluminum child parts. So one parent casting and along with 3 or 4 sub parts or child parts. That is called family die or unit die. This is basic die construction with short sleeve. To the end, this side end short sleeve, integral short sleeve or split short sleeve, and again support that side ejection cylinder or machine ejection cylinder or the ejection plate. So in between we are having moving die, fixed die, moving core, and ejection system. And in the cavity, core pin, ejector pin. To move the core pin, we have slides, we have hydraulic cylinder, we have mechanical finger cam, and fixed die and moving die we need to open and close. For that, guide bush, guide pin, or guide pillars will be there. This is the basic construction. And we are talking about die life dependency. So normally 25% of life depends on capability of the tool maker. So no tool maker will give complete life. For example, the customer is each and every customer giving some specific life, 1 lakh or 1 to 1.5 lakh, like that. Some of the customer even some our telecom customers are giving 60,000, 70,000 like that. This basically no tool maker will give the complete life. This we are the people who are maintaining the die, who are taking care. We have to take care of almost 75%. That is the understanding, so that more responsibility with us. And yeah, definitely tool maker having high for to repeat the die or getting more order, they have definitely high responsibility. But with respect to life dependence, maybe 25% with the tool maker. That is the way we need to see the die life or die lifetime. Then several factors are for increasing the tool life or lifetime, or die improving the die maintenance. How well the process is controlled, that is again very important. Then die sufficiently preheated during startup. How we are starting the die, that is very important. And non-production hours, we need to stop cooling. That activity is again very important. And what temperature the die casting is ejected, that also important. And maintenance, regular maintenance, we are going to see now. So a lot of maintenance are there. Some companies are every 5,000 shots they are maintaining. Some company they are maintaining 10,000, 25,000 like that. Even some companies they are maintaining almost every day. So we are maintaining the die almost every day. If the die is running, we need to maintain regularly. Then die change intervals, that also very important. Every 5,000 shots or 6,000 shots normally we are practicing in die casting industry. And heat treatment, after die each and every 5,000, 6,000 or 10,000 based on tool maker requirement or tool die. The material supplier requirement, we need to follow heat treatments. That is a stress relieving operation. These are die life, basically by influencing factors are basically die design, then steel quality, then process condition, the casting material, that is aluminum casting material, then die maintenance, die heat treatment, and machining. These are the factors. And normally, we are in process. In process, very important is die temperature. The die temperature before spray and after spray. That is before the metal entering the temperature and before the component is removed. This during ejection time. The temperature is both are very important. With respect to temperature, the difference between before temperature and after temperature, that is delta T, is very, very important. That we need to minimize the delta T always to have good die life, along with maintenance, along with process conditions. So importance of die steel, temper resistance should be high, hard yield strength should be high, heat conductivity and ductility and toughness should be high, and coefficient of thermal expansion should be less. That we discussed. The delta T should be very, very, very less. So very less means within plus or minus 10 is very good. We are going to discuss about die heat treatment. So normally die heat treatment, we are doing a lot of treatment, basically stress relieving process. That is to remove the surface thermal stress that we need to take out from the die frequently. And then some of the people are doing nitrating process, surface treatment, some surface coating. Some of the people are some of the tool makers are giving their procedure. We need to follow that procedures. But with respect to Altins, we are following just whatever our tool maker recommendation or tool steel supplier recommendation. Just we are following. So what is happening in treatment, heat treatment? That is the theory behind that. That I will ask Gautam to explain.
In heat treatment process, the structure is changing from ferrite into martensite. Carbon atoms are getting captured and quenching between the iron atom. It creates the tensions that usually it's extending in the dies, and the hardness and brittleness happening concurrently there. In tempering some of the carbon atoms, it reacts as the secondary carbides, it results in the higher toughness, which is very much required in the dye heat treatment process.
So we are seeing about heat treatment, and now we are talking about our process with respect to dye cooling, dye temperature. We are now using a lot of cooling methods. So normally cooling means all of us immediately think about dye coat or dye coat cooling. It's normally dye coat or dye lubricant is applied for releasing the component, only lubricant purpose. We need to have good spot cooling, channel cooling, jet cooling, and baffle cooling, spiral cooling, like that. We are having this type of cooling is normally designed during design stage based on based on the dye design, thick mass, thin mass. Based on that, we need to find out this coolings. So normally jet cooling is used. Normally jet cooling is used for core pin and other cooling like spot cooling or channel cooling, baffle cooling, spiral cooling. They are used in dye cavity areas. So basically, this will be decided by dye maker and maybe our dye maintenance people or a new product development people. They will decide on what type of cooling we required based on simulation analysis. Where is the last cooling area, where is the first cooling area, that we need to find out from during simulation, and accordingly we need to plan cooling. So normally in our dyes we are using mostly spot cooling, and we are mostly for core pin we are using jet cooling, and some of the spiral cooling we are using for screw bush or spreader area. We are using spiral cooling. This is how the dye temperature should be. This is basically process process side, which is important. We are now showing one dye, a fixed dye and moving dye. This is before spray. That is after casting ejection. What is the real temperature with respect to 8 points? We have captured 8 points. This dye is quite big dye, 1350 dye. And after how the temperature, what we want the temperature, the delta T should be very less. Accordingly, this is the standard we are following before after. This will be this standard will be given to people, shop floor people die casting. This will be displayed in shop floor near the die casting. We are many companies we are having now the thermocam facility. So operator or supervisor can check the dye temperature, and accordingly before after. This is a standard they should follow. For example, before spray that fixed dye, some of the point is very high temperature. Then maybe some internal cooling not working, or internal valve not opening, or water flow not there, like that. We have to troubleshoot that to have delta T consistently during the process, each and every shot or each and every day. This standard is we are following. This is jet cooling. Most of the people, almost the last 30 years, people are using jet cooling. So I think no need to explain about jet cooling principles and how it is working and other thing. Here again, some of the core pin, superheated core pin, we need to have cool. Rapidly we need to cool. There also we need to maintain the delta T. So once the metal is entered in the cavity, that is near the core pin, so immediately we have to switch on the cooling. That cooling pressure will be around 20 bar. And during solidification time itself, we need to cut off the cooling circuit, and then we need to continuously pass the air to avoid some scale formation or to avoid core pin crack. We need to cycle each and every shot. Roles of die service, roles or die service activities. We are having preventive maintenance, breakdown maintenance, die modification and corrections, and spare management. Within that, within preventive maintenance, we are in the preventive maintenance we are having daily checklist, or every day we are planning on the machine. We are planning some JH Chisugosan activity. That activity I will explain later. That is that also one of the preventive maintenance. And why die maintenance? To prevent unexpected die breakdown and or failures, and proactively replace the worn out weak parts before there are no failure. To improve the die life, that is number of shots, maximizing the number of shots. To achieve consistency in casting quality, that is very important. Very important. Consistent casting quality is very important for die maintenance. This is the workflow with respect to die core pin management or die servicing. I will ask Gautam to explain.
So this is the workflow we have taken for 5,000 shots. After the die receipt, we have dismantling the ejection system. Then we are moving to die washing and water leak testing. From there, descaling the cooling lines, the activity will be carried out. Then dimension inspection will be carried out. The correct and replacement of parts activity will be checked once again, and the loop will be closed there. Then the die matching and spotting activity will be carried out. If any issues means it is addressed with the help of the corresponding spares and die polishing. Then we are moving to final die assembly process. Then final inspection and the die painting activities will be carried out. And at the last stage of it is ready for the production will be identified there.
Yeah, this is a workflow. With respect to workflow, this is clear. With respect to die readiness or die activity, die maintenance is ongoing. We are having some tags and other things that I will explain later. This is an workflow for die servicing. Again, with respect to number of shots, 25,000 shots.
It has been considered for first one is 5,000 shots. It has been considered for 25,000 shots. The same thing, but here we have added some of the parts such as insert assembly will be carried out separately. Then accordingly, die matching and spotting has been added in this one. Then a water line and water line assembly and leak testing will be carried out, and hydraulic cylinder also will be tested here. And final die assembly will be carried out, and it has been moved to ready for production stage.
This is preventive maintenance, and with respect to preventive maintenance, each and every unloading or each and every 5,000 shots or 6,000 shots, or each and every requirement. Even sometimes 2,000 numbers are required. Then after 2,000, we need to have this last casting report. In the last casting report is very important for that with respect to die name, die number, and what is the die loading date, and how many days the die was in production, how many shots produced, and who is preparing that, and with respect to production feedback, what are the issues with respect to production. This is mainly operator voice. And similarly, quality feedback with respect to casting quality. or any heat check mark or visual quality or whatever logo. So anything they have to give. So this loss casting report will be attached into the die when we are giving to the die service. This is 100% required for having very good quality of casting, and at the same time it should the die life, number of shots, maximizing the number of shots. There also, which is very important. Similarly, once the preventive maintenance, we are having some checklist. With respect to checklist, after getting the die with loss casting report, so immediately this die maintenance checklist will be checked with operator with respect to employee number. We have filled when they have filled, and any pending. Then they have to identify. This is mainly because the people in die maintenance, they will work for production is working 24/7. Similarly, die service also working 24/7. During die service, some of the activity should not miss or forget. So that's why this is the checklist we are following in die maintenance area. Similarly, during die casting or during die casting, some of the core pin broken, or during loss cast report the core pin is changed. Then we have to give core pin. The quality department will check the complete new core pin, old core pin comparison with respect to casting or with respect to core pin. They have to prepare. This is basically jointly done by die service person and quality person during first off or every breakdown. This is we are using two types of tags for identification. One is green tag, another one is yellow tag. The green tag is die readiness information. Along with loss casting report. Similarly, this under servicing, there is a yellow card we are following along with LCR, loss casting report. So each and every production loading we die as a die service supervisor or die service die maintenance person along with production they have to give first off approval request. This is the system. Should be followed to avoid any die correction information or some check, whatever it is, all should be checked. This again, this first of approval we are now following first of approval request. There are no die modification. There is no die modification means only general die service. Then why the request given to production to check first off. Then quality will check with respect to first off quality parameters with respect to CMM or some gauges or dimensions, everything. They have separate first off inspection report standards and checklist they are having. Similarly, patrol also they are having. Is once die is released from production, the immediately first shot first OK shot we used to give to quality to verify and get approval. This is very important activity, and this should be very useful to avoid high rejections or one-time rejections. This again flow chart with respect to breakdown maintenance. I will ask Gautam to explain a little bit more.
Once the die has been comes into the breakdown, we will raise the die breakdown notification. The die breakdown notification details has been shown in the upcoming slide. Then it has been handed over to the die service supervisor. Then immediately we will allot a person to hand over the breakdown, and then we will list out the abnormalities what we have been noticed during the running condition. Abnormality correction and the die readiness will be carried out immediately. Then it has been handed over to production team, and we will find out the root cause analysis. Then the ideas has been shortly brainstorming has been conducted, and the ideas will be taken from there, and the implementation activity will be carried out subsequently. The effectiveness has been monitored with respect to the improvement, what and all happens. Then the horizontal deployment will be carried out with respect to corresponding days. Then standardization will be implemented.
This documentation during die breakdown. This die breakdown notifications. So normally, the big companies, we are having SAP system. We will trigger the breakdown in SAP, and root cause analysis also updated in the SAP system. And after that, all ideas, whatever ideas implemented, that should be implemented in the Kaizen sheet or die modification request. Based on die modification request, this Kaizen sheet or Kaizen idea will be prepared. And during standardization, we standardize all the improvements during MP sheet or OPL sheet or PM check sheet. This is normally all breakdowns will be should not be repeated. For that only we are doing this standardization. With respect to some standardization, this OPL is 1 point lesson. What is the lesson learned from this breakdown? That sheet will be prepared. Similarly, MP sheet, that is managing point. Sometimes that managing point from operations angle, sometimes that is this managing point will be on design side. Similarly, that the PM checklist or JH checklist will be updated, and all the information will be updated in the die history. So each and every die part number or die, we are having separate die history card. Most of the people, most of the factory or most of the people following this die history card. The question is only updation, on-time updation, or sometimes updation not updated. This is very important. The die history card will give the die history card will give during repeated die manufacturing or new die manufacturing. The die history card whatever standardization that will help improving the next die. That is very important for documentation side. With respect to die modification DMR, die modification request, this following flowchart we are following. I'll ask Gautam to explain a little bit more.
Once the DMR received from production team, in line with the design department, we will work for the 3D model. The specific part which has to be dismantled for modification purpose will be taken out, and the part will be sent to the corresponding machine shop, and inspection and machining will be carried out. Once it has been completed, fitting and final checking with respect to CMO will be coordinated, and the activities will be performed accordingly. Then die assembling and matching work will be carried out. Sample production and dimension checking will be carried out subsequently. Then proof machining feedback will be obtained from them. If it is okay, we will move for production. If it is not okay, means again we will unload the die for correction activities.
This is general flow chart. This is the general CMM inspection. Sometimes we are doing CMM inspection. Sometimes we are doing in assembly condition this 3D scanning we are using. And whatever die modification request made, that replacement part will be checked and approved by quality. This approved loose piece or core pin or whatever it is insert, that will be implemented during die modification. This is a die modification report. With respect to die modification report, what is the part number, what is the part name, die name, customer name, all the information will be there. And now what is the issue with respect to quality, or what is the problem observed? This in this case, M8 blowhole, that is the major issue. Around 6% rejection was there. So for that, the dye modification, the dye modification idea is mentioned. This idea will be carried out through CFT approach or brainstorming method. People quality production. Here you can see machine shop person, dye development person, design person. So all put together, reviewed and finalized the implementation idea, occasion idea, and then after correction, how they are correcting the dye, that information and lead time, other information will be finalized based on dye modification request. Dye will be taken over with respect to earlier we have seen the process flow chart. This is another system we are following with respect to experimental job order. Whatever dye modification we are doing, even though we have dye modification request, after dye modification request, that proof machining and maybe 1 or 2 numbers will be done immediately to run the dye. Once the dye is running, we need to identify taken 32 numbers for complete machining and verification. Whatever change with respect to dye modification and what is the side effect with respect to modification, both will be completely checked during machining or as cast. Both will be machined. The detail will be given again. This EGO will be closed with machine shop person, designer, and quality, and die casting production person. This all of us they will decide this improvement, this dye modification given improvement or not. That will be very important. That will be recorded through experimental job order. This again flow chart with respect to replaced parts entered into the entered in the dye.
The flowchart with respect to spare management is shown here. The replaced parts are entered in the issue card, and then the current stock is updated in VCS by manually, and the same has been ensured whether it is in line with the system or not. If current stock is less than the minimum stock level raised by the purchase department, then automatically the PO will be raised to corresponding vendor. Once the parts received, inspection will be carried out. If the part is okay, it will be stored in the relevant place, and we will update the issue card and VCS. If it is not okay, we will send the part again for correction.
This is spare management procedure with respect to quality or dimension, whatever it is. Other than dimension, we used to check some of the core pin should have some cooling depth and other things. That cooling depth, sometimes we used to check in X-ray for the straightness or the depth, everything we can check in the X-ray. And like CMM dimension also we used to check. This is very important with respect to spares management. This each and every part, each and every die, we are having separate checklist with respect to minimum stock, maximum stock. What is the minimum stock, and what is the current stock? Each and every day. If it is running die, we need to follow every day. This is what are the core pins available. The moving die core pins, fixed die core pin. For example, this one of the die having almost 27 core pin. For that we are having all minimum stock, and each and every day how it is maintained or not consumed, whatever it is, this will be tracked. And these are dies care, new dies, what should be taken care, and production dies, what should be taken care, and out die life, one out dies, how we should check the dies, quality, or with respect to how improvements, for improvement focus also, how it is. That is general we are following. These red dice, we are calling, we are having a lot of dice, with respect to part number, each and every die are categories. For example, yellow die, green die, red die, like that. In the die, we are having that mark, paint mark will be there. So red die is normally customer specification. For example, sometimes the customer will allow us to run 1 lakh. Beyond 1 lakh, no, they will not allow. For some other reason, the die life is 1.1 lakh, like that. Then the die is mentioned as red die. This red die means so each and every people should aware this is red die. We need to have replacement die, or we need to extend the die life, or that criticality will be understand by seeing the die. Similarly, green dyes and yellow dyes. Yellow dyes are near to green dyes, are after green dye, maybe near to red, that will be called yellow dye. There is customer specification minus 20,000 charts. So repeated die triggering, or improving the die life to further, or if the part is going to absolute, then what are the checkpoints we need to take, or what are the action plan we need to discuss with customer. All the things will be easily available in the shop floor by seeing the die. And in the die service or die maintenance area, die care, that area we are having how many dies are red, how many dies are green, how many dies are yellow, and what is the trigger plan. So how to make yellow to green. That action plan will be along with die maintenance person. With respect to new dies inspection, we are having visual inspection. First, the tag and other things. Then a new die checklist we are having. Then setting up first time, and making first sample run, evaluation of first run. These are very important. I'll ask Gautam to see, read these all the points.
With respect to new diecast dies, cavities conformance to tools and the first one is all the cores are in place. With respect to core pin drawings, whether it is available with respect to the standard sheet. With respect to core pins, we are ensuring whether it is having proper draw polish or proper surface treatment. Surface finish of the cavity is to be acceptable. Entire parting line seals off to be checked. Steel certification, heat treatment certification, engraving correctness with respect to trademark, cavity number, date code will be ensured. With respect to ejector pins, it has to be ensured whether it is in correct length or correct location. With respect to water lines, open and circuits are as per the die layout has been, it will be checked. Water line plugs are installed, it will be checked. Water lines clearly labeled up with up-to-date diagram and charts are available, it is to be ensured. Plumbing and electrical systems do not interfere with the die set and pull, also to be checked. Fillet and corner radius correctness to be ensured. Casting inserts, fit retaining devices to be ensured. Cavity is reversed to part print as to be checked once. Cavities are with respect to the dimensions as mentioned here to be raised. No damage with respect to shipment to be ensured. Polished out, all EDM marks to be checked. No unspecified sharp corners or knife edges to be ensured. Cavities have been given free from final stress and tempering to provide oxide coating to be ensured on the surfaces. Wax shot taken to check for wall thickness and undercuts, etc. Plugging thermocouples and satisfying the temperature to be ensured. Limit switches and it has to be tested or to be ensured. Pressure test for all water hydraulic lines to be ensured. Moving slides and ejector plates to be checked out, and the switches are at the ends of travel to be ensured.
This is a normal checklist recommended by NARPA, and we are following this. At the same time, wax shot or whatever T0, T1 sample should be attached along with the die for our visual complete inspection. And they used to give the after they will give along last casting along with the report. If no changes after last casting, that also indicated by toolmaker to us, so that during new die loading, die service person will do this complete check for production sample. Similarly, so metal feed system and conformance to tool standard that will be followed with respect to runner system, gate, overflow, and other things. And sometimes plan B overflow will be there. Sometimes plan B runner will be there. For that, ejector system is there, or ejector ejector pin is there, or the gate is blocked. The plan B is blocked. That also we need to check during new die checklist. Similarly, for new die ejection system with respect to this system, ejector plate, gate pins, return pins, guide, ejector pins, and on runners and overflows, and all the things should be verified in the die. This is for mold base. We are having that this one. Each and every die that how many water line for in should be separate color and out should be separate color. We used to follow green and red. And it's a common problem with respect to new dies after T0 or T1 or T2. The drags, undercuts, we need to understand in the casting, also in the die. And cavity surface, any soldering mark is there that we need to check. And some of the core pin we used to check through rubber mallet, the core pin strength or cracked, we need to check. And ejector pins tightness, and rough finish of EDM or polishing. Then slide gives due to poor tapered on our running feet, whatever that slide we need to check. And water oil hydraulic leaks should be checked. This during production, what are the checklist, or what are the checks, or what are the care we need to take. So ensure care for longest life. This is online JH we are doing that. I will explain later. Other than that, preventive maintenance program, die setup as per standard, and how to start up the die. That instructions we need to give to operators, and how the die is performing, that evaluation we need to do, and also all records, whatever die modification request, whatever, all the records should be updated in die history card. I will now quickly go through. Another 7 minutes are there. I will quickly go through. This is very important with respect to die JH every day. So maybe based on your requirement, maybe every day, maybe every shift, according to the die life or according to the criticalness, we need to follow. But that frequency should be decided along with production quality, design, die maintenance person. This is one sample for one component. What are the die JH during startup of the every day? We used to do 7 to 7:30, half an hour. Die maintenance team, die production team, and also maintenance person. This, all the three people come together and do some of the JH activities. Maybe it's cleaning, some plunger lubrication working, like that. Some of the points are we are identified during production. This should be checked and signed. Some of the activity will be done by operator, some of the machine maintenance person, some of the activities will follow by the maintenance person. The finally all the checkpoint will be corrected. If it is not okay, that immediately we need to stop and correct. This is maintenance service request slip. This normally we used to give manual and also SAP. This is one manual slip, and every month what is the production plan, what is the maintenance plan, that should be fixed during capacity planning. Each and every day when they are going to give for maintenance, that plan will be discussed during capacity meeting. That will be every month end, maybe 29, 30, 31. This will be freezed for next month. This is production die casting dies, how to start up production checklist. Is die locking, die blue matching, die temperature, metal temperature, velocity, whatever it is, all with respect to this checklist. The same checklist we are following in different way. Similarly, for burnout dies, some of the system we are following for grading and to improve the shots. This is what are the system loss cast, cavity and course checkup, core pin checkup, holder checkup, like that. Anyway, this presentation will be shared to you. Then the burnout dies condition also we need to evaluate excellent, good, fair or poor, like that, or unusable. So how to improve burnout dies life? That also some welding or some rework or some loose piece change, or some hydraulic cylinder seal change or cylinder change. This should be checked during to improve the burnout dies life. This is standard procedure we are having. To improve the presentation, you can give suggestion. At the same time, we are open for question and answer now.
Okay, so thanks, Durasan, for that very detailed presentation. Like Mr. Durasan has said, we are now open to questions. So I would request that anybody who wants to ask a question should unmute himself and direct the question to the presenter. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Are there any questions, please?
Hello, sir. Myself, sir. Vijay Kumar.
Yes, go
Hello,
ahead.
sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, how many shots we can do the stress relieving, sir?
Stress relieving based on I have mentioned earlier, based on supplier die maker recommendations. So normally 10,000 shots. Every 10,000 shots we can do, but some supplier will recommend 15,000, 20,000, like that.
Sir, we are doing it 20,000, sir. 15 to 20,000. But the core dice and plain dice is there, na, sir. Then how
Yes.
to?
No, stress relieving. Your question is not clear. Can you
Yes, sir,
repeat?
yes. Sorry. Stress relieving, can you define the core dice and plain dice? How many shots we can?
अपना इधर का हो गया, उधर के चल रहा है।
Zabin, can you repeat the question?
Mr. Vijay Kumar, you are talking about stress relieving. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you just repeat the question once?
Sir, how can define the stress relieving core dice and plain dice is there, sir? Core
Oh,
dice,
sorry, your question is not clear. You are what?
core dice.
Stress relieving of core.
Vijay Kumar, I think I understand. Vijay Kumar, I have understand your question. You are asking about plain die, what is the frequency, and core die, what is the frequency? That is the question,
Core dice.
correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This,
Yes, sir.
this is not with respect to core die or with respect to no core die or plain die like that. Is normally every 10,000 or 15,000 based on supplier recommendation, a die maker recommendation or steel supplier recommendation we need to follow. Answer to your question, for example, that because we are having fixed die insert different thickness, and
Yes,
your
yes.
sliding core will be different thickness, maybe small, that is big. For that,
Okay.
we should have separate separate timing, separate temperature. We should not we should not allow or we should not follow single procedure for big insert and a small core. That is very important. Other than that, everything common. Because
Okay. Okay.
with the die thickness is more. For example, fixed die thickness is for example 250, and your core is only 50. Then we should not follow the same stress relieving process for this insert and core. Insert should be some procedure, and core should be some procedure. Because small should be the temperature will be slightly low. That we need to take care.
Okay, sir.
Okay, there are some questions in the chat box. One are what are the types of preheating in startup?
Okay, this with respect to preheating, here we are using a thermoregulation heating. That is the die will be attached to the thermoregulation oil unit or water unit, or sometimes oil and water unit. We used to have time setup time, temperature, everything, and we should check the thermal image, then we need to start. Anyway, for each and every day we should have a separate startup procedure. Even if it is thermoregulation dies, or some dies are not having thermoregulation, then we need to follow LPG cylinder heating. No, some of the people even not doing that. They are just switch off second of second phase pressure or velocity. All will be reduced. For that, they are having specific setup. Most of the recent machines are having that setup on off the second phase. If you switch off the button, that machine first 5 shots or 7 shots will be very slow and preheating. This type of arrangements are there. Based on your machine condition or your die condition, you should follow some procedure. That procedure is suitable for die maintenance and production person. We should not expect first component should be okay. That thinking is wrong. We need to write that procedure, and we need to strictly follow the startup procedure to have very good die life or very good casting quality.
Okay, so there is one more question. Why are we doing the nitriding process?
So nitrating, is normally some of the nitrating we do some cases we are not doing. Is nitrating basically during run up lot of area some drag or soldering will be will happen. This is we need to understand this is basically because of dye lubricant or dye temperature or poor cooling or why the issue, why the soldering mark or dragging mark is there. The dye surface dye surface should be normally black color. Sometimes it is like white color or gray color. Why it is we need to understand accordingly we need to take action. It's a normal general action is nitrating. Every 25,000 shots the dye corpin everything given to nitrating process and getting back assemble and we do normal production. So now that is older old method. Now people are checking the dye. The corpin is heating. Why it is heating? Because of temperature issue or cooling issue or the corpin quality with respect to draft issue, or sometimes component having drag or dye having soldering mark because of uneven ejection. We need to find out along with the team. Then we should take correct action. So generally, nitrating is common action. Every 25,000, I will follow nitrating process. That is old method. Now people are seeing the dye, seeing the part, but because there the dye JH will be helpful. Because every day we are planning JH, we are dedicating half an hour for that activity. So people will record where the drag mark is there, where soldering mark is there, the dye condition how it is. This should be every day recorded. Then no need nitrating. Or some special area heat zone if at all required some coating. A lot of Balsar coating are there, nano coating is there. Many coatings are there. We can follow that to avoid nitrating. This is the way we check.
So there is one more question. It says in aluminum die casting, how can we repair the heat crack marks?
Heat check mark. So yes. This is each and every foundry having lot of challenges with respect to sufficient working space or lighting facility like that. Each and every die having this problem, heat check problem. So we need to decide how to manage a heat check mark. That is very important. During die design itself, we need to understand where heat check mark will come. That is number one. Number two, where how to live with heat check mark. This normally heat check mark, some of the customer not accepted. That is one. Is another one is the heat check mark. After seeing heat check mark or day by day. It may be developed as a crack and will have die crack finally major breakdown. That is one. Another one is some of the components heat check mark not allowed or customer not allowed because of aesthetics issue. These things we need to understand before manufacturing the die. During design stage itself how we are planning that is now I will explain. So my designer is along with me. So normally, he will see, where heat check mark will come. First, last solidification point through magma simulation. Near thick mass area or near thick mass area, we will have no problem. We need to understand the solidification pattern also. Last solidification, first solidification. Definitely, during last solidification area, we'll have no heat check mark. Similarly, during gate area where the gate is sufficient or gate is not sufficient, able to understand through flow analysis. So if the gate velocity is high, definitely gate area will be heat check mark. how to manage that. So increasing the gate thickness or increasing the gate area, that is one option. Another one is how to live with heat check mark area. So normally we do we used to have where heat check mark will come, there we will put loose piece. So nicely we put during manufacturing itself we will put loose piece, and we will have spare. Every 20,000 we used to change the spare, so that component will not have heat check mark. That is another thing. So normally heat check mark, if at all we need to improve this. Already I have mentioned that delta T is important. We need to minimize the temperature difference during process before lubricant or after lubricant. That delta T we need to attack in the process. This is normal.
Okay. Mr. Pankaj Goel is asking a question. Do you have any experience on tungsten carbide coating of PDC dyes to avoid heat checks?
This GDC dye or PDC dye?
PDC dye.
Yeah, we are using a lot of high thermal conductivity corpine or coating. We are using. We have a lot of experience on that.
Okay.
That is good. That is good. The problem is metal corpine material availability. So we should plan different type of diameter raw material. We need to purchase. We need to plan and purchase and get it with us. Whenever we need we need to manufacture and keep it.
Okay. Okay.
The best solution is the best solution is delta T, the difference in temperature reduction. That should be addressed during design or after implementation also we can do. So a lot of jet cooling methods or spot cooling methods are there nowadays. So we can follow one of the reason to avoid that type of tungsten pin or some last time Prabhakar said marriage steel. Lot of techniques are there. So before before implementing that we need to avoid that type of very complicated design or complicated raw material this one. So normally the material not available in any steel showroom.
Okay. Asmari Anto, you have raised your hand. Do you want to unmute and ask the question, please? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw the lifetime for this is only 25,000 cycle for
So not audible.
Yes, I know. Your question is not very clear, Asmarianto. Can you repeat that slowly, please?
I think he is having some option. He can type.
Yes. Maybe he can type the question in the chat box. HN Pandey, go ahead, unmute yourself and ask the question, please. Mr. Pandey. I think Mr. Pandey has actually asked a question. Let me see if I can find it.
Sorry. I lost my signal.
Yes, go ahead. Talk slowly, please.
If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw the lifetime for one mold is only 25,000 shoot. Yeah. Is it too short or not for HPDC mold?
Did you understand the question, Mr. Duraisan?
No, it's not. No, question is not clear. He is no telling something. No, 25,000 shots like that. I am not able to no fully understand.
Yeah, Asmarianto, can you type in the chat box, please?
Oh, okay. I will type in the chat box.
Yes, please do that. Please do that. Mr. Pandey has asked a question. How do we assign a life to a particular die after its successful trial?
It's not clear. No, can you text or can
No.
you repeat?
Okay. How do we assign a life
Okay.
to a particular die after its successful trial?
After success.
After successful trials,
Okay.
ஒரு சக்சஸ்ஃபுல் ட்ரையல் முடிஞ்ச உடனே அந்த டை லைஃப் வந்து அசைன் பண்ண முடியும்.
Yeah, definitely. So no, based on my experience, I am telling. So I have not faced initial days. I am having 32 years total experience. Out of that, maybe first 2 years I got I have experienced some die crack or premature failure like that. So after last 30 years, I am not seeing any premature failure or any premature failure or whatever a potential failure. I am not expecting, because now before each and every day manufacturing during design itself we are seeing lot of actions with respect to even blowhole or plan B, plan A, like that. We are overflow, gating, everywhere we are addressing. There is no pre-match failure, but each and every day life with respect to acetate material or RVR Supreme or RVR that the latest material or Hitachi material. So it's the minimum 1 lakh 1 lakh shots we should take, because most of the customers are expecting that. Some of the customers are expecting 2 lakhs like that. But we have experienced some of the dies are more than 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs, even very critical transmission parts. We have produced 4,000 shots. So we need to monitor the die. We need to take complete care, so that we can design our life. So we can plan 4 lakhs. We can plan, no issue. If the customer is willing to give every 1 lakh new die, then that will be good, because when we are within 1 lakh or that's why I am talking about yellow die, green die, red die.
Okay. Asmarianto has typed his question. He says, I saw in your presentation that the lifetime of dies is only 25,000 shots. Is it correct? I think it is too short.
No, okay. Now some of the dies, we are having. That's why maybe 25,000 shots. We are having some of the telecom parts. We are having 25,000 shots. The die, customer is specific, is giving specification to us. 25,000. After 25,000, that part will be obsolete, like that, because now the technology is quickly changing. So for some of the, for example, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, now we are working for 5G. At the same time, we are working on 6G parts. So sometimes 25,000 shots or 50,000 shots. This is decided by customer.
Okay.
So normally automobile having 1 lakh, minimum 1 lakh to 1.5 lakhs shots. That is the normal specification of automobile supplier.
Okay.
So industrial maybe again 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. Some of the industrial components are 4 lakhs shots also they are expecting.
Right. Rajesh Agarwal is asking a question. Do you have any experience in 3D cooling? Is it effective, or what is the effect?
So 3D cooling, we have not having that experience. First of all, I need to understand what is 3D cooling. that I need to understand then only, because people are talking about different cooling. They are having own name. So when I was in Sundram Clayton, people are talking about Ryobi cooling, interval cooling, intermediate cooling. What is meaning of 3D cooling? I don't know.
Okay. Maybe Rajesh can explain that subsequently. There's a question here from Ponraj. He's saying, sir, please explain delta D. What does delta D mean?
Is again answer to Rajesh. He is I think he is calling. He is thinking, or he is asking like a profile cooling. So some of the profile is like U shape. We need to have inside U shape cooling. I think that is that may be because one of my designer is telling we are using that type of cooling. So for example, S type of cooling, we are some cavity, we need to have S type of cooling. There we are having that type of cooling arrangement inside the die. That is we are following. We are having a lot of experience on that.
Right. Explain delta D. What does delta D mean?
So delta T is before once the die is opened before ejection or after immediate ejection, we need to capture the die temperature through thermal image, thermocam. Then before closing, after lubrication, we need to understand the die temperature before closing, or before the metal is poured. What is the temperature? That image we can take through thermo camera. This before and after, we should not have lot of gaps. For example, most of the times the die temperature will be 250 max. We need to bring down to 190 or 200 range. See this 200 350 or 300 200, that 100 is delta T. That delta T should be very minimum, because our operating temperature is 170 plus or minus 20, or sometimes 30 we can have. This maximum 220 and minimum we should have 170 160 temperature. So the maximum temperature should be 200 or 250. Then within we should get before taking that time we need to have 200 like that. Then delta T will be 50. The minimum is good for die or die life, because we are minimizing the thermal shock, or we are minimizing the thermal surface temperature of the die. That will give us very good improvement in die life, at the same time casting quality also.
Okay. I'm going to ask you one more question. Mr. Suryan Narayanan,
Yeah.
you have asked 2 or 3 questions. Why don't you unmute yourself and ask the question, please?
Now, what is the standard? If the low volume is desired, can the die still be non-ESR grade? Yes, we can go. No issue. No issue. That first question is my designer is willing to answer. Surya Narayanan, now you can hear from Mr. Kalayarasan.
For a low volume die, if it is a low volume die, we can go for a non-ESR material for 10,000 to 25K. And what already Duran sir has.
No, I have explained about delta T. Now, what is the standard? He is asking. No, the standard is 170 plus or minus 40. That maybe maximum. That means we are having 170 means 170 plus or minus 40 means maximum 210 the operating temperature, where the die during die ejection the temperature will be around 240 250 will be good. The delta T should be less than 50. It's very difficult to achieve, but if we design properly, delta T less than 50 is possible.
Okay.
And answer next question: what should be the temperature difference of the dye before spray and after spray? That again 50. The average 50. The problem is people should not confuse. For example, fixed dye and moving dye, we should have uniform temperature. For example, for the cavity, fixed side and moving side, we should have equal temperature. We should not think about fixed dye 50 plus and moving dye minus 50 like that. Not that like that. If we are having one spot in the casting, for example 170 to 175 like that, then both the die are die halves, that is fixed dye and dye, we should have 170 175 like that. That is the I am talking about this one. Delta T, some people fixed dye, moving dye temperature difference or location, the location to that location, delta T, not like that. Delta T is before spray, after spray. That is lubrications. I am talking about lubrication. Before lubricant, after lubricant. That should be 50. And the normal 170 plus or minus 40 is the specification.
Okay. One last question before we close. What are the recommended steels for PDC dyes?
What is the recommended?
Steel.
Okay. Yeah. So for recommended steel for the PDC dyes. So my designer will explain. So what we are how we are selecting the PDC dye steel we will explain. Because for fixed dye insert or moving dye insert, some of the core, some of the long core pin like that, we are using different steel material. My designer will explain properly.
For dye steels below 800 ton, we are planning to we are having Arva Supreme, and for higher tonnage we are going for diverse Supreme materials. If it is other materials also, we are now we are trying for making inserts. Materials are that Dido material for we are going for.
So last almost 1 year we are facing lot of challenges with respect to Arva Supreme and Divar Supreme. So material availability is the challenge, and another one is material cost also challenge. During this time we are trying with equivalent Hitachi material or Dido material, and also we are using SKD, Japanese material. That material also we are using. Is according to our promoters like Altims China or Altims Finland people, they are okay with all Dido also SKD also, they are okay with them, and Arva Divar also they are telling equivalent. How the dye steel and the same very important is heat treatment. During dye manufacturing, I have visited a lot of tool rooms outside. Each and every day, if they do some machining, critical machining, end of the day they will put into the nearby each and every CNC tool making machine, they are having dedicated furnace. They will put they will simply unload and put in the furnace and put settings and go to home. Next day again automatically that the furnace will be stress relieved. Then they will put the steel material into the CNC machine. Then they will start machining. This type of facility some tool makers are having. So very important is that heat treatment method or steel supplier recommendation we need to follow. That's all. With respect to steel any steel okay. So normally Arva Supreme, Divar Supreme, Dido, SKD 61 all are equal.
Right. Okay. So I think that's all the time we have for questions. However, if some questions remain unanswered, please send an email to my colleague Rishikesh in Pune, and we will forward them to the presenters so that they can be answered, and you can receive suggestions as well as clarifications to what is required. Mr. Durayasan, I thank you very much for this very detailed presentation. Both you and your colleagues have taken great pains to put this presentation together and answer questions. Thank you very much. And I hope that in the future we will have more chances to interact and talk to the members of Alucast. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you to everyone on behalf of Gautam, Kalayarasan and Sivanesan, and on behalf of Dashnamurthy also, I am thanking all Alucast members, Mr. Zabin, Mr. Prabhakar. Thanks everyone, participants. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.